this was one of those book versus movie situations where I saw people talking about the series and went, that book's kind of on my radar. There's a series coming out. I'm going to pick it up and read it so I can watch the show. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content as well as movie reviews here on this channel every week. All of my book versus movie content is spoiler free and are some of my favourite kind of videos to make. So I will leave a playlist of all of my book versus movie, book versus TV series movies linked up here. Yes, so Margot's got money troubles. I was aware of the book. I'd seen it actually popped up on my NetGalley and I was like, do I want to request this one? I think at the time I wasn't reading an awful lot because I was in my previous job, and so I didn't download it then, but I was it was on my radar. I was aware of it, and then I saw Nick Offerman talking about it on his Instagram, and I'm a big Nick Offerman fan. I've listened to all his books. Parks and Recreation, big fan, and again his book with Megan Mullally, I really enjoyed that one and I've posted about it a lot and loved it. So he posted about this series that he was in and I was like, interesting, let me go down this rabbit hole. Borrowed the audiobook so that I could watch the series and actually did them very close together, which I think is always ideal if you're trying to compare. So I really enjoyed the book. It was one of those audiobooks I found myself kind of staying in my car to listen to before going in somewhere, or finding an excuse to do a task where I could listen to the audiobook at the same time. You know, things got tidied or things got washed up because I could listen to the audiobook at the same time. So really highly recommend the book. Loved it as an audiobook, and it is actually narrated by Elle Fanning. This version, I don't know if there was a previous version that was out before she was then connected to the TV show, or I don't know if the two were intermingled. If you know that, maybe you could let me know in comments. But yes, I thought that the audiobook was great. And then I started watching the TV show and I was like, actually the TV show also great. So it was one of those where it's pretty much scene for scene the same as the book. So much so where if you've recently read or listened to the book, you can recognise bits of narrative and bits of dialogue that are directly lifted from the book. I think that the author was involved in the script, and I think that because you've got Elle Fanning connected to the audiobook, I am assuming that there's been some sort of like everything's come all at once type of situation, which is, you know, always great if the author is linked to the script as well, because you know you're getting something that's so similar. And having enjoyed the book so much, I was sort of like holding my breath a little bit going into the first episode, because I was like, if this is rubbish, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch the rest of the series, and I wanted to make this video for you. So yeah, really ended up enjoying the series. There was a few differences. Michelle Pfeiffer is attached to the series as an executive producer. In the book, Margot's mom is slightly more absent than she is in the TV show. She's a little bit more involved in the TV show, and B, slightly more of a villain in the book than she is in the TV show. And I think that that is probably linked with the fact that she's played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and Michelle Pfeiffer is a producer on the TV show. So she was a little bit more. We got scenes with Margot's mom on her own, whereas we don't have scenes with her mom on her own in her book, because it's very much everything's from Margot's perspective in the book, whereas in the TV series we got scenes with Margot's mom where it was just Margot's mom and her partner, fiance, whatever you want to refer to him as. Similarly, Jinx, Margot's dad, again, we have scenes with him on his own in the TV show, whereas because the book's from Margot's perspective, we don't have scenes with Jinx on his own in the book. But you get a bit more character development from it that way. It was just like, oh, we're seeing him on his own with Margot out of the equation here, which I thought was interesting. Again, the Margot's professor has a little bit, I would almost say like a little bit less of a role in the TV series. I feel like you get sort of fewer scenes with him. Again, time constraints and being able to have these other perspectives probably what resulted in that. But there's a scene with him and Margot's dad that is alluded to, but we never actually get to see in the book, but we get to see the scene play out in the TV show. I kind of preferred the book side of the way that was told. And then it's difficult because I know that the series has been picked up for another series, which I think is really interesting, because I'm like, well, we're now going to deviate from the book. However, there is a character in the book who is completely absent from the TV series. In the TV series, Margot is like fully concentrating on raising her baby, her OnlyFans career, her roommate, her father, her mother, and her two friends that she meets through being on TikTok and doing OnlyFans. Whereas in the book we see a little bit of not like a love interest, because it's not a rom-com, but like a, you know, potential other relationship coming out of her online career, and that is just not touched upon at all in the series. And so I wonder if, because it's been picked up for another series, that might get picked up there. Again, trying to talk about it without any spoilers, but that character just doesn't appear at all in the TV series. I was kind of waiting for them to come along, because they definitely appear later on in the book, but I do wonder if that's where we got picked up for another season, if that's where they're going to come in. So it will be interesting to see, and I'm happy to talk about it here on the channel if that is something you would like to see. There is probably as much sort of like sex and nudity in the TV show as there is in the book, because I was like, oh, will it be toned down a little bit? No, I really do think that we get to see and hear about as much in the TV series as we do in the book. They're both very like sex positive forms of, you know, the book and the TV show, both very sex positive. And the characters themselves, the characters are exactly the same as they are in the book as they are on the TV show, apart from the fact that we get to see a little bit more of Margot's mom. But I think that might have been Michelle Pfeiffer's attached as producer, so she wants more screen time. But that's, again, a little bit of a cynical way to look at it, but it's probably an explanation for it. I thought that Elle Fanning was a good Margot. I think because I'd listened to her narrate the audiobook, I think she was always going to be in my mind. And because I knew that Nick Offerman played her dad, again, he was always the Jinx in my mind. But if I'd read it before the TV series had started filming, I might have felt differently. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a really good example where the book sticks to the TV series sticks to the book very closely. You're getting a like for like, apart from the one glaringly obvious missing character. But yeah, a few differences, lots and lots of similarities. I thought that both were amazing. If you asked me to pick which one, I don't think I could pick. I really enjoyed consuming both of them in quite a short space of time, and I kind of I miss it. Like, I'm really hoping that the second series of the show is good and that I enjoy it as much as I did the first one. As always, if there is a book and a TV show, or a book and a series, a movie that you would like me to watch and read and compare, do let me know in comments. Always happy to read on demand. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future book versus movie content coming your way very soon. But I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.